It's a new year, it's a new me. I'm Kaylee Cross Stitch. This is my Flosstube. Welcome to you. I hope to keep you company for a bit. Sometimes I complain about my job, because, I'm a teacher and we're still in a pandemic world. Sometimes I gush about my cat Susie. Look at how cute she is, Susie. Oh, baby. But most of all, I want to show more love. Hashtag Chris it up, 'cause we're all human beings. Hi, human. Okay, let's show some cross stitching. True, right? It's my birthday. It's my birthday. It's May 31st, and it's my birthday. And I'm recording a Flosstube on my birthday, because your girl got her new glasses. Ooh, she decided to put some lipstick on. You know, I got my monkey and mouse scrunchie and my lovebirds, my John Brown's raid shirt. Why not, you know? I know I wore this in a very recent Flosstube, but I thought it appropriate because I recently read a story, which I will link below, that at the very first Memorial Day, which Memorial Day was yesterday, at the one that's considered the very first, there were 10,000 people who gathered in Charleston or someplace like that. Don't quote me on this, just read the article down below. And there were 3,000 African American school children who were singing the Union song, John Brown's Body. John Brown's Body, you should listen to the song. It's gonna be a long one, I think, because it is May 31st, 2022, and a week ago, there was yet another school shooting. And I can't, there's things that I don't want to talk about, and then there's things that I don't want to talk about that I can't not talk about. And this is just one of them. So if you decide that you don't want to listen to this and you're only here for cross-stitch content, first of all, why are you here? No, that's a legitimate question. Why are you here if you're not interested in human content? But anyway, fast forward through this, or if you're not emotionally ready to just hear a teacher's perspective on this, then, by all means, scroll forward so you can just see the cross-stitch content. But my friend Jessie Lee talked about this in her video from yesterday, and she asked me by name, how do you deal with it? How do you cope with this shit? And you don't. You don't. It's an open wound. It's current trauma that is not being addressed on a systemic level, and therefore it's going to continue. The tragedy is going to continue. And honestly, it's stupid that it's not surprising that it keeps happening. There could be things that could be done to at least try to stop it, but those things aren't being done. So we like, you're just like scraping a wound that is open if you continue to do this. And what it's making me realize is a lot of people think that they know the solution, and they have never been in the position of the people who it affects the most. Or it's been years since they've been a student, and the schools are completely different than when they were a student, or they've never been a teacher. And as a teacher, that's what is so aggravating, is like people saying, oh, we should give teachers guns. Fuck no. Do not expect me to do that. Do not expect me to do that. As a teacher, I will not do that. I will quit. And you will have so many people quit teaching, even more than there already are quitting. It's, I mean, if we continue this way, then you're not going to have any teachers left, because not because they're bad teachers, but because they don't want to continue the cycle of abuse, the cycle of neglect, the cycle of not caring what we have to say. I mean, people who make the decisions on what the curriculum is, they don't listen to teachers, so why would we expect them to listen on, something as simple as keeping us safe in our schools? That's off the cuff, and that's what I feel. So yeah, you just don't cope with it. You try to find ways to distract yourself, and you learn more about crappy things that are happening in the world and to people, and you try to find a spot to smile. I mean, that's the older I get, now that I'm a mere 29 years old, the more I'm like, life just is never one thing. It's a just shit show of a billion different things at one time. Like, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel discouraged, I feel hopeless, I feel hopeful, all of those things at once. And it's confusing, and it's annoying, and I just wish that people would do more to listen to the people who are actually affected by this the most, and try to think of solutions based on that, not who's paying who's not paying you to make laws. Speaking of life being a whole bunch of different things, last Wednesday, I went to a talk from a local. So I live in Baltimore, Maryland. If you're new here, and there's a local writer, and he is from Baltimore, and he actually wrote on a show that has recently come out about Baltimore called We Own the City. And trust me, I'm not an expert on this stuff. Like, you should go, I'm going to show you a book that you should go buy. But he was, long story short, he was a victim of a corrupt cop. And these cops would search people with no reason and steal money from them, steal cash from them. And it got really out of hand, but he was just a small part of it. And he's not making excuses for wrongs that he's done in his life, but he is a very successful writer now. He's a New York Times bestselling writer, author. And I went to a talk with him, and this is his most recent book, D. Watkins. He wrote on that show, first of all, and then he also has some other books. He has a book about Baltimore called The B-Side, I think. The Beast Side, maybe. Dylan's reading that one. But this is called Black Boy Smile, and it was really amazing to see somebody talk about their experience, talk about why they wrote this book. And it's kind of like a memoir of his life, but he also wanted to write it for people who don't feel like they can smile. And he said something really amazing in his talk. He said, everybody deserves to be loved. Everybody deserves to have a happy ending. No matter what you've been through, no matter what you've done, everybody deserves that. And that's how you need to live, is to believe that you deserve happiness, you deserve love, you deserve to smile. So I'm excited to get into this book. I'm not very much of a reader, but you know, I need to become one because there's amazing people out there. Amazing people. So there's that. Should I talk about some stitching maybe? 10 minutes. Oh, that's not too bad, actually. I thought I would rant a little bit longer about that. So, and at the top, thank you, Chris, Chris Cross-Stitch. He gave me this lovely, lovely shout out, and this community continues, this cross-stitch community continues to baffle me. You'll see some stitchy kindness today that I'm just like, I'm so lucky to find happiness in this community and find not only an escape, but also a reality check. Like, y'all are real, y'all are people, y'all mean a lot to me. So thank you, Chris. Thank you, Jesse Lee, for all your kind words. And anybody that I talk about, please check them out in these links below. Again, don't listen to me. Go to them. Okay. Stitching. I got some stitching. So I have some FFOs, and these FFOs are a long time coming. And my FFOs are in my little Stitchy journal. This is a journal from Tattered Edges Design, which I will link below. And I got one, I don't know if y'all remember this, but I got one a while ago, this little guy. Because I was inspired to put some tiny stitching in here, which I still am going to do, but I haven't gotten anything in there yet. But I got one for my larger projects, which are still tiny. And so let me show you a couple things that I put in here. So this is the journal. It's a hardback, and then it's bound. And I did tear some of the pages out because I knew that I would fill it up. There's lots of pages. But there's my Quirky Quaker Unicorn. This is Darling and Whimsy, which go and download her new pattern, her Stitch for Pride pattern. There's Hedgehog, Quirky Quaker Hedgehog. I left this page blank because look at how cute that is. And then here's this one. This is on a Fire Poppies ornament cut of 5363, which I hate that linen. And then, you know how Karen sent me a whole bunch of fabric? I put all of her test stitches, so that's definitely a project that she started and stopped. And then I put all of her little test stitches in here. And this is something that, like, you know, Karen would never imagine that these would be so much joy to me, but I get to have Karen's test stitches in my little journal forever. Like, that's so fun to me. There's some more. This is definitely a Hade, and she was trying diagonal stitching. And there's my Starry Night washi tape. You can see. A little skunk. Look at that little skunk. And that's it. So I have some more stuff to put in here, but isn't that cute? I know that it's going to just be like really full by the time I'm done with it, but I'm so excited to have this. It's like a little nod to my farming days. We had chickens when I was growing up. So in addition to this little guy, and I guess this is haul, I also got this one. Because, you know, you can never have too many tiny journals, I guess. But this one is really nice as well. And then she threw in this. You know, this is what you don't expect about when you buy something from a handmade. Does this need to be turned up? Am I talking into this well enough? Let me turn this up a little bit. Is they just throw in extra stuff. And it's like, look at this beautiful little journal. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Here's another thing, you know, so nope, stick to the stitching, keep this in order. We'll see if I remember to talk about it. So that's my FFO. I have an FO, one that was sent off already, and I'm not quite sure if the person has gotten it yet, but it's part of the hashtag Great Twitch Birb Migration hosted by Michelle Bendy Stitchy. And we stitched a bird, made it angsty if the person wanted it, and we sent it. So, you know, this is ironic, because any good teacher will never tell you that they're the best one. I'm not saying I'm a good teacher. I don't think I am. So that was sent off, but when I know that the person has received it, I'll show you the picture and tell you why I stitched what I stitched. Okay, and then I have another FO. Look at this thing. Okay, so I was live on Twitch and I had just gotten some hate comments. I should really delete those comments because I don't like, I feel like I'm kind of making fun of the person if I keep talking about them and don't delete their comment. So somebody left me a comment that they said, all you do is play with your cat. I want you to stitch more. Or you should stitch more, or something along those lines. But they said, all you do is play with your cat. And I was talking about this on my Twitch stream, and Jen just like drafted this pattern during the stream and then dropped it in the chat. And I was like, what? I've inspired a pattern, and of course it has Susie on it. So I converted all of the cats to Susies. And then these two colors, this is violet something, and this is cherry, I don't know, something. These are both Leo and Roxy Floss, which I have my first time trying that. Stitch on a 5363 count, which this stuff sucks. I hate it. This is from Fire Poppies and Ornament Cut. So all you do is play with your cat. And I think I have permission to share them. You can find this pattern on my Discord under the Show Me on Twitch link. Or thing. Subject? I don't know, Discord. But isn't that funny? All you do is play with your cat. I love this. I think that's just gonna go hanging up right here with all my other small finishes, which, happy Pride next month, which is tomorrow. Okay, that's all the finishes. New starts. All you do is a Saf. And I have a new start from today. Are you ready for this? I don't know if you are. I'm gonna copy Michelle and use this for like all my Stitch for Pride prompts, but this is Move Forward in Love. And this is my little start. I don't know if it's cheating to start in May, but I did because it's my birthday and I'm doing what I want to, so I just did the letters today. This is Jacob Modern Folk Embroidery's contribution to Pride, Stitch for Pride, and yeah, I'm stitching this on a fabric that Kaylee sent me. Kaylee with an I. You saw this last week, I think, in my Stitchy Kindness, but this is a beautiful, like, purple fabric. This is pretty, my lights are pretty strong, but I'm fine with it. And this is like a 56-ish. I don't even know what it was originally, but I'm stitching it one strand over 2 full cross. And it's really nice and little. I'm excited to continue this during Pride, which is my plans. Stitch for Pride. Hosted by D of D's 20 Stitches, which go watch their video. And then I have a shit ton of whips. It's a cat. I'm gonna try to go through these kind of fast. Because, I don't know. I'm just kind of over the stitching stuff. I talked about the life stuff, and now I'm like, all this is kind of meaningless. Anyway, it's a cat by Stitchman Darcy. And this is stitched on a 64-ish count quilting fabric. 1/1 full cross with Invisifil. This was my thumbnail last week. Isn't it cute? Yes, it is, Kaylee. Thanks. Okay, then we have synthesizers, which was a new start last week. Not last week, it was more than 2 weeks. And this is a pattern by my friend Stitchy Nutty. And since you saw it, I got the rest of this and all of this and this down here. This is stitched on perforated paper with DMC. And I'm going to substitute some of these buttons for beads. So that is yet to be planned, and I think this probably will take a break. I don't know. I won't take this to Iowa, I'm sure. Okay. I love that one. That one's really cool. Legal High, my inherited whip from Karen. We got a few stitches in on this. This is by Long Dog Samplers, of course, and this is on a 36 count even weave, stitched 1/1 full cross with Over Soie Surfine. So on 36, the surfine is pretty, it's not as full cut, like there's a little bit of fabric showing through, but I kind of like it. Like you can't even tell if you pull it back. So this is Karen's whip. She did about 12% on it. So I have added this since, and this. I love this. It's really good. Okay. Oh, we have some fun stuff to talk about for this one. This is Cirque de Caro by Ink Circles. And this one, oh, I need to take out, well, good thing it's Pride Month because then I can do Trans Pride Tapestry. But this is a stitch along with Nati, the designer of the synths and pedals. And she's been making a lot of progress on hers, but this is mine, Cirque de Caro. And this is done on 40 count, even weave, dyed by dyeing for cross stitch. And this is March fabric of the month. It's a very light peach. And 1/1 full cross with Gloriana Tudor silk. I need to update my tiny stitching video, but because I have a lot more updates to show you, but yeah. So this Stitchy Nati is my stitch wife. She's my stitch wife. Like, we share stuff. We do the same stuff. We have the same feelings a lot of the time. We're just like in sync. Maybe that's sisters. Maybe stitch sisters. I don't know. But I feel like you wouldn't share as much with your sister as I do with Nati. So maybe we are wives. But anyway, we are both going to Stitch North the May weekend. And Nati had the idea that we would, let me put this back up, that we would stitch each other's center motif at Stitch North. So not like the whole thing, but like just the fill-in of it and with each other's floss. So she's going to stitch on mine with bluegrass and I'm going to stitch on hers with seaweed. Those are the colors of Tudor silk that we're both using. So that's a really fun idea, right? And so that, you know, motivates me to get almost all of it done by next May. So better get cracking on that. That's kind of a big one. So yeah. We're going through it. New Mexico, which I finally updated Instagram on this. I don't know if you saw, but I started a new state like back in March or whatever, and then I never updated Instagram. But I flew on this yesterday because I started using the sewing method on this. And because I was using the sewing method on All You Do Is Play With Your Cat, and I was like, this is really fun to use the sewing method, but this fabric is too tiny. What do I have? And 18 count with a size 28 needle, I was like zooming on this. So yesterday, on my day off, I did most of this pink here, and then I did a lot of yellow down here. And I didn't stitch for very long, but I stitched like 700 stitches or something yesterday. And I maybe stitched like 3 hours or 4 hours or something like that. Like, it was not my normal amount of stitching time. And I got a lot done. I got like pretty similar amount of stuff done. So this is going quickly. But that's New Mexico. Part of, this is 18 count Ada. The designer is Stitches Lover's Shop, a Ukrainian designer. Which, you know, this like life stuff that's happening in the US right now, it's like completely pulling me away from everything else that's happening in the world. And it's like, well, how am I supposed to be a good human being if I can't even like think about the rest of the world? Which, I mean, there's way too much information. We have access to way too much, and our brains are not designed to handle that much. So just like our brains are not, or our emotions are not designed to handle, you know, a mass shooting every day, every week. Barnyard animals. This This has been a while. Look, I started doing this diagonal. I know. Sarah, I love your method, but I just like, I got sick of doing this cross country, this tree. There's just so many colors there. So I started diagonally doing this over here. This is 40 count Verdal even weave 1/1 half stitch with DMC. Barnyard Animals. Artist is Donna Gels. Is that her name? First name Donna Gelsinger? Is that right? I don't know. Check the description if that's wrong. There's a better look. You can't even see. Like, that's the joy of 40 count. I just love it. Okay. We're almost there. Okay, I need your help, everybody. I love Jacob. I love modern folk embroidery, but I don't love this design. I'm sorry, Angle 2. I don't love it. Ooh, I didn't even take this out of the hoop. Whoops. And I discovered that I don't love it because I don't even care that I'm way behind on this sal. So I think I might kind of fudge this. I put in a few stitches on this, and I think I might kind of fudge it and only do the top row. Because there's plenty of other patterns from modern folk embroidery that I want to stitch. And there's plenty of this going around. And I think I just kind of got it because I was like, I had a little bit of FOMO. And I love, I love the fabric, I love the floss, but I think it's the pattern. Like, I'm not motivated to work on it. But I already have stitched, the Birb that I stitched was from this pattern. So I think I'll just, stitch the top, I'll stitch her name, and then I'll stitch a border here and be done with it. I don't know. What do you think? Or should I just let it be in my whip pile for, I don't know, a couple years, and then I'll decide, oh, okay, yeah, I actually want to stitch that. I don't know. I've never had a whip sitting for a couple years. So, I don't know. Tell me what you think about that. Again, I love Jacob. I love his patterns, but I don't love this one. And there's plenty of other Jacob patterns that I would love to stitch. And plenty of other ones that I could stitch in that floss. And I have a billion lengths of that floss, so. Okay, that's all the whips. So I still have to show you all my haul, and there's a lot of it. So I think I'm actually going to start with kindness because, again, I don't really care about, it's not that I don't care about the stitching, but the stitching is secondary to how I'm feeling right now. So let me show you how people were kind to me this week, these few weeks. So first is part of my birthday present from Dylan. This card. And a little notebook. And look who's on it! Susie! Look at Susie. She's doing all these different activities. Look at, that's probably her, the most like her, because she begs for food. And there's Susie's on the back. This is just a lined notebook. Isn't that cute? She's so cute, Susie. I got that. Dr. Christie, these glasses are sort of inspired by you. Not completely, but you gave me the courage to do them. She sent me more of her Creepy Baby floss drops. And then this is DeVere yarns, and I remember when she was opening these for Advent, but she was like, this is the finest thread I've seen, and so I'm going to try it for tiny stitching. So she sent me that and a very nice card, and these, and some stickers, which she made. She made these. I don't even know what to do with them. I guess I'll put them on Happy Mail and stuff. And then, so I talked about these people last time, Ashley and Kaylee. And I linked their shops below and their Instagram below, so you should still go support them if you haven't already. But I was like, I need to actually buy stuff from them because they've been so generous to me. So for Ashley, she's the one who sent me this bag and this other bag right here and the bag for giveaway, which I'll just message the one person who commented on this and I'll send this to you because I mean, I love it, but I want you to love it too. So I'll send that to you, the one person that commented. And also, while I'm thinking about it for giveaways, I think Sally Hislop, you have not commented or sent me an email for the Ymir threads. So if you don't comment by next video, then I'm going to redraw for this and I'm going to send it to that person who will respond. So if you want your Ymir Reds Explorer Pack Sally Hislop, please send me an email or respond to my comment. So then Ashley, I actually bought these from her, finally. Look at these kitties. These kitties. And this is a perfect bag for like, just going out with my cats. My kitty bag. Big. Where I'm from, we say big. I've really been influenced by where I've lived. California and now the East Coast. Everybody says bag. And then I also got this one, and it has this cool leather that you can open, and it sits up, and has a nice zipper. These are like my first, I mean, they're not my first project bags, like the ones that Ashley sent me were my first ones, but my first purchased ones. So there's that. So those two from Ashley, and then Kaylee, who sent me all of the fabric that I showed you last week, and this is the stuff. She has an online shop, and I bought a bag from her too. This is the one that I bought. And this is like really nice, like can fit a Q-snap. But then, of course, you stop doing this to me. I buy something from you, and then you add something so nice that I was trying to like, thank you for adding, or thank you for giving me in the first place. This, look at this. It's a mini version of this with the little Susie charm. You know, or this I guess is not Susie because she's not a white cat, but you know how like, no, maybe you don't, but I used to watch people like show their project bags, and I'm like, yeah, they're just project bags. But now I have some, and I'm like, yeah, I get the appeal. And not only did she send me this whole project bag that I did not even pay for, a little hoop. Am I an influencer? Like, is this my influence that people just send me this stuff? I mean, I love it, but I'm like, it was like when Jen made that pattern, the all you do is play with your cat pattern. I was like, somebody is making this for me. Oh, here's the charm on the soda one. Like, look how cute that is. Can't wait to put my fop piece in here and take it to Iowa with me. Isn't that cute? So those are my bag hauls. That's sort of Stitchy kindness, because I did not pay for this. Nor did I pay for that. Sorry if that was loud. And that. And this. And this. The giveaway. Like, I didn't pay for this stuff. Go support those people. Please. I got some also, so this haul is Stitchy related. So I got a reading light. I saw Ilonka using one of these, and it's just like a reading light, and then these both turn on, and it's rechargeable. So I got this on Amazon. Just look for like book reading light, neck reading light, or whatever. But then you can like move the arms or whatever. So buy that if you want to. And this is very helpful. I've been noticing like with tiny stitching, and I realize I forgot to mention this, you need a good light if you're going to try tiny stitching. And then I also bought, you know, my hair is always straight, but my threads are not. Because I'm putting my bobbins on floss drops. So I bought this to straighten my threads. And it kind of worked. Let me show you. So I straightened these ones. And from what I can tell, there's not heat damage so far. I would not do this on Fancy Floss, but I'm doing it on DMC because it can handle a little bit more, I think. But they're a little bit more straight than they used to be. But I don't know. It was cheap, so I was like, let me just try it. But Karen says that you can just run it over a wet sponge, which is probably true as well, and that would work as well. But your girl is lazy and wants to feel the heat on her fingers, I guess. And then, more Stitchy related items are, that's not Stitchy related. This little guy, these little scissors. You can never have enough tiny scissors, right? Amazon. I need to stop with Amazon. I'm sick of Amazon. And this little needle threader. I think I got this because I wanted free shipping. So, yep. It's a micro needle threader, and it's still not small enough for my needles. So, get with it, Stitchy world. And then some non-related Stitchy haul. I mean, non-Stitchy related haul. These are just stuff that I bought that I like. So, you know my obsession with tiny things. Oh, here's what I was going to say before. Do you remember? Rewind to when Kaylee was like, I wonder if I'll remember to talk about that. So people have been telling me that if they sign up for tiny stitching, which you should sign up for a tiny stitching kit if you want it. I will send you fabric, a needle, and a little bit of floss. Fill out the Google form below. People are like, oh, I love tiny things and I love writing tiny. And I'm like, maybe it's because I'm left-handed, but I've never been able to write really small. I definitely tried it a bunch in school, but I write big and messy. So actually I'm not like super messy, but I don't write tiny. I kind of wish I would, but everybody's like, oh, I love tiny things and I like writing tiny. And I'm like, oh, I'm missing that part of it. But anyway, I still love tiny things. So I found this tiny thing in a vintage store, which the things were pretty expensive in there. This was pretty expensive, but this is carved out of a some sort of fruit pit. I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. I forgot what she said, but I got that at this vintage store. They had some cross stitch books, but they were expensive and not very good. Let me rephrase that. I wasn't going to stitch anything out of it. I got more washi tape because I don't know why. Washi tape, like, stop it with the washi tape. Seriously, like, I'm gonna go broke, but music, I had to get some music. Look at that little black cat. So those are fun. And then, oh, this is what I also got at that vintage store, which this is not vintage. These are clearly very current, but this note's for you in a little piano box. And then day before, Sunday, we climbed the original Washington Monument, which is here in Baltimore. Not the one that is by Washington, D.C., but the one in Baltimore where Washington is on the top of the monument. And you can go up it. You should look it up if you want to, but you can climb the stairs. There's like 227 stairs. And I think I put it on my stories, but it might be in the Baltimore highlight now, the Washington Monument going up it. But we went up there and you can see the view of the whole city and the harbor, and it was really cool. So I got these. This is a local artist, probably. And there's 4 of those, but I don't need to take it out right now because that's very specific to me. Baltimore. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So happy birthday to me. Oh, this actually wasn't as long as I thought it was. 40 minutes. I just feel like I had a lot to say, and I still do. Plans. Stitch for Pride. So go watch These 20 Stitches. They have graciously done a compilation of LGBTQ plus Two-Spirit LGBTQ plus IA artists and education and mutual aid and ways that you can help those people. And there's a daily prompt, and your obligation as a participant is to do the learning first and then the stitching. Because stitching is great, but you know, if you're using it as an escape for not learning about human beings, then maybe it's time to prioritize. I'm preaching to the choir because, you know, I find myself just wanting to escape with stitching too. And there's nothing wrong with that, but also there is something wrong with not learning about other human beings and their experiences, in my opinion. So that's my plans. I'm going to do Stitch for Pride and learn about it, learn about all of the people who are in the community of 2S LGBTQIA+, which if you're annoyed by saying all those things, try being a member of one of those communities and feeling the discrimination and the systemic oppression of being a person in those communities. Trust me, it's not a choice. It's who they are. And be nice to your teachers. I think that's it. This is my brain. You know, there's all these thoughts bouncing around, and then I stop, and it's just all still there. You can't escape when you know things are not right. So, yeah, I'm going to continue to enjoy my evening, enjoy my birthday. Cheers. Cheers to 29. I love y'all. Thank you for supporting me, for being here, for supporting each other, for being a human being who cares about other people, other human beings, and just continue to do your best. That's what I'm going to try to do. So, yeah. Love y'all. Bye.